Hi guys, it's Tamara, the Judeo-Christian medium. Welcome to my channel. Tonight, we have a very special guest. We have the rapper Takeoff. Yay! He's sitting there like this. He's doing the Atlas head. He's been very patient with me. Very patient. He's been with me for a while now. George Carlin brought him in, and it's been a whole experience. So Takeoff says hello. He made himself into the Buddha, which is very fitting. Yes, because I will be channeling the Buddha next. Thank you, Takeoff. So Takeoff is wearing, he's a big Buddha. He's got a cigar and he's wearing all these gold chains. So goodness, this is a tough one, guys. He's saying let's just get through this. It's a lot. So like I said, he's been with me for a while. He's going to just chill, which he's very good at. He's very chill. He's gonna chill there. And I'm just gonna give a quick introduction, and then we're going to pray. Feel free to pray with me, to my spiritual team that's here. So just quickly, guys, I'm a Judeo-Christian medium. That means Jewish and Christian, like Jesus. Jesus is here. Jesus and I have had lifetimes together. Someday I will make videos on those, but throughout a lifetime of metaphysical experiences, I've connected to Jesus. I connected to him as a child, and then eventually as an adult, I came out of the spiritual closet. I read angel cards, and through a near-death experience, I connected to Jesus again. So you can check that out in my about section, and I have videos on my metaphysical experiences. On some of them, I haven't finished all my videos yet. But anyway, when Jesus was here, he was Jewish and Christian, and that is my spiritual DNA. So anyway, that's just a quick introduction. We have Takeoff here, Jesus, and I am going to do a prayer, which is a thank you, and I would love for you to pray with me. So let me just get started. Let me get grounded. My spiritual team is here. I would like to thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you for life. God comes to me in my upper right hand corner, very white, very warm energy, white, gold, and silver, connecting down to Jesus. Jesus is on my right, upper right, very warm. Jesus is very indigo. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for peace. Jesus connects to Mother Mary, who sits at my right hand shoulder. Thank you, Mother Mary. Thank you for comfort. Mother Mary connects over to Father Joseph, who sits at my left hand shoulder. Thank you, Father Joseph. Thank you for stability. Father Joseph connects over to Archangel Michael. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you for protection. So they're coming in as energy and colors and who they are, but their colors come down from God: white, gold, silver, indigo. Coming indigo over here. Very indigo to Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael connects over to Archangel Metatron. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. Thank you for entertainment. Archangel Metatron is very red, orange. Red, orange, and yellow. He's actually coming to me as a rainbow tonight and wants to remind me that this is where the rainbow comes, the rainbow connection from God down to the archangels, down to earth, connecting God and all of the archangels down to us. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. Archangel Metatron connects over to Archangel Eric Medhus, who sits right to my left. Thank you, Archangel Eric Medhus. Thank you for communication. Archangel Medhus, his mission on the other side now is to connect us to spirit. So if you would like to talk to anyone, ask Archangel Eric Medhus, and you can also talk to him. Thank you, Archangel Eric Medhus. Archangel Eric Medhus connects over to Archangel Gabriel, who sits right in front of me. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel. Thank you for acceptance. Archangel Gabriel is very red. So just past Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel connects to Archangel Sandalphon. Thank you, Archangel Sandalphon, who's very white. Thank you for intelligence. Archangel Sandalphon connects to Archangel Raphael, who's very purple. Thank you, Archangel Raphael. Thank you for healing. Archangel Raphael connects to Archangel Azrael. Thank you, Archangel Azrael. Thank you for organization. Archangel Azrael connects over to Archangel Jophiel. Thank you, Archangel Jophiel. Thank you for magical beauty. And as the colors go along, Archangel Azrael is indigo, violet, white, silver, and connects to Jophiel, who is very white, silver, very sparkly, and gold. Archangel Jophiel connects over to Archangel Uriel, which is me. Thank you, Archangel Uriel. Thank you for my mission. Archangel Uriel is very indigo, as you can see. Archangel Uriel connects to Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you, Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you for balance. Archangel Zadkiel connects to Archangel Jeremiah. Thank you, Archangel Jeremiah. Thank you for wildness. So now we're getting into the other colors of the rainbow. Zadkiel is very green. Jeremiah is very yellow. Jeremiah connects to, thank you, Archangel Raguel. Very flamboyant, very red and yellow tonight, and a little bit pink. Archangel Raguel connects to Archangel Chamuel, who's very calm in light blue. Thank you, Archangel Chamuel. Thank you for calm. Archangel Chamuel connects to Archangel Ezekiel. Archangel Ezekiel is like a very a corn colored. Thank you, Archangel Ezekiel. Thank you for nutrition. Archangel Ezekiel connects to Archangel Haniel, who's a light pink. Thank you, Archangel Haniel. Thank you for sleep. And Archangel Haniel connects to Archangel Daniel. Thank you, Archangel Daniel. Thank you for humor. Archangel Daniel's very red. So this is my team of archangels. There are many other archangels. You can check out my other videos as I explain this further. Like I said, this is the rainbow. And also these are the Pleiadians, Arcturians, and tall whites. And as we go through this rainbow, each group is a little bit stronger, connects more to, so this side over here is more tall white, and as we go in the center we have more Pleiadian, and then as we go further down they are more Arcturian. But this whole team here is Pleiadian, Arcturian, and tall white. And I know this is a unique concept, but Jesus excuse me, Jesus told me that when God created humanity here on earth, this is the very macro, he got together with the Arcturians, Pleiadians, tall whites, and reptilians who were already in existence, and created humanity. So you can check out my other videos on that, see where you fall in all of that. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Takeoff. Yay! Okay, so Takeoff is a child of Archangel Uriel. So you can see in this circle, I am Archangel Uriel. So he is one of my children, which just made me very nervous. I want to give him honor and respect. So just to let you all know, this group here goes down to earth, not only with the rainbow energy, but through generations and spiritual groups. So where I explained Archangel Uriel is, Takeoff is just below. And so Takeoff is in the spiritual group of the children of Archangel Uriel. So this has been very big, and I have a lot of notes. So Takeoff is also spiritually a Gemini. So he has those characteristics. So my Mercury is in Gemini. So that means I think like a Gemini. So he and I have just been talking and talking, and he's just amazing. So I'm sure many of you who are fans of his feel that. Okay, so I do automatic writing, so I wrote notes, and I also I have notes that I just talked into my phone. So we'll do those after this. Whew, guys. So okay, Takeoff is being very quiet. Okay, so as many of you probably have noticed Takeoff's eyes, he is also a child of Biggie Smalls. So Biggie Smalls is Archangel Uriel also. So Archangel Uriel is, we are an energy and also individuals. So, but as an individual part of Uriel, Biggie Smalls is the father of Takeoff. And you guys can look him up and look at the resemblance. So, and Biggie Smalls is, we are both Uriel, so he is a soulmate of mine. So had I met him on Earth, and you know, the conditions were right, he is someone that I could have dated, been a romantic partner with. Not my twin flame, but a soulmate. So just give you that information. So Takeoff's name, his real name, is Kersnik Kari Ball. And so he and my team had me look up Kersnik, and the name, it has Jewish origins and Albanian roots, and it means courageous, which makes a lot of sense. And he's telling me that we come in knowing our names, picking our names, not 100%, and he's encouraging you all to research your name, and also you know, if you're not happy with your name, if you feel like you don't connect with it, you can change your name, especially if there's any, you know, negative connotation with your name, if it connects to an energy that you're no longer connected with. He's saying, feel free to change your name. He said, obviously life is very short. He's really funny too, guys. Yeah. I wrote here, he screamed out, nerd. He was a nerd. He was laughing. So he was a music nerd, music geek. And he said, like, while his friends were playing sports, he was dropping beats. Yeah. So I've had subscribers talk about Sanpuku eyes, and you know, maybe I will make a video about that at another time. But Takeoff had Sanpuku eyes, as did Biggie Smalls, but not always, but they both have very galactic eyes, and that's a very difficult thing to describe. I can see it, especially now working with Jesus and my team. They are having me, they're showing me different famous people, and they're having me put that on Instagram and in my community tab. They're giving me the galactic origins of famous people. So you can check that out if you're into this. But yes, Takeoff has very galactic eyes. So Takeoff was part of a trio, Migos, amigos, but they were called Migos, with Quavo and Offset. So yes, he considers them to be his family members. I believe Quavo is his uncle, and Offset is like a cousin once removed, and they but they considered themselves to be the Amigos brothers, and they're brothers spiritually. So you can check out on my community tab and my Instagram, I did a galactic breakdown of Quavo and Offset. Quavo is Arcturian and Pleiadian. Offset is Arcturian. He's half Arcturian and half reptilian. Okay, so when Takeoff was here this time, he was born on June 18th, 1994, and unfortunately was taken out November 1st, 2022. So he was a Gemini, so yes, he was a Gemini. He's sorry, a bunch of people just came in, Spirit, Souls, Biggie's here, and Tupac. All three of them are Geminis, and they said, you know, they came into that container that our birth chart is like a vessel for our spirit, our personality. Yes, he's saying like we are first and foremost a soul, and then we get together with God and Jesus and the archangels and figure out, you know, how we're going to look, and our vessel, our birth chart, our all of the modalities that you know, our palms, and those are roadmaps to who we are, what our origins are. So if you're watching my channel and some of the stuff that I'm telling you, you haven't heard of, or, you know, I have many subscribers who are into all kinds of different galactic beings, and just to let you know that most of this is valid, that I'm giving you a very macro idea of how we all came into being. So yes, he had a very short life. He passed at 28. Oh boy, guys. So all three of them, Takeoff, Biggie, and Tupac, we're all incredibly talented, and as we go further, I'll explain that's why they were taken out. Motorcycle. Yeah, I felt like that was confirmation. That was so loud it shook my windows. Jealousy, that kind of noise, that energy of the zooped up engine, sometimes especially in the city, feels like a cry for attention, and which Takeoff is saying is the root of a lot of jealousy. He's saying that what comes with the talent, like the talent that he had in Biggie and Tupac, many who's, he doesn't want to sound arrogant, but who don't have that talent see the attention that they are getting, and it creates jealousy, competition and jealousy. So yes, all three of them were natural rappers. That's who they were meant to be. That's how their brain thought. Okay, so we're gonna get into something very big right now. When I read for Tupac and Biggie, you can watch those videos if you're interested. Both of them were taken out by the same person, and there have been 3 people total who Jesus told me I couldn't mention. So just to let you all know too, Archangel Eric Medhus connects me to the other side, but everything goes through Jesus. If you would like to pray, if you would like help, I recommend going straight through Jesus. So Jesus, and you can also say, and Archangel Eric Medhus. So, and that is for protection. Jesus is a protective energy. The reason why Jesus would like you to directly pray to him is that it blocks out the dark energy. So Jesus has said it's the dark reptilian energy that hangs out in the 4th dimension. So this is all coming together here. I know I can sound scattered, but I'm trying to narrow down all of these concepts together. So the dark reptilian energy is what throughout humanity is called like Draco and the devil, Diablo. That's in the energetic realm that feeds off humanity. But here on Earth, there are people who are consumed with that energy. They are dark reptilian. They came here as reptilian and became dark by giving into that energy. And Jesus is saying it's a intention. So you can watch my other videos on that. But this is very hard for me to say because I haven't been allowed to say this name. But I alluded to who took out Biggie and Tupac, but I wasn't allowed to say his name. But right now I will tell you, it was P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. So much is going on with him right now that Jesus is saying, I am safe for saying that, because that will be coming out. I made the videos, I believe it was 2 years ago, and it wasn't safe for me to say that. So yes, Puff Daddy. So Puff Daddy is a dark reptilian, and he is responsible for taking out Tupac and taking out Biggie. And just to give you some history on P. Diddy, this is going to be, might be very hard for some of you to swallow. I get it because I've been doing this work now for a while. Jesus told me that P. Diddy is the same soul as Judas and is the same soul as Machiavelli. So feel free to look up on my Instagram or here on YouTube in my community tab. I have done a galactic read on both Judas and Machiavelli, and this has been a slow unfold from Jesus. First I found out about the energy of Judas, that he's a dark reptilian, and then Machiavelli, and they were the same soul, and that soul is P. Diddy. So it's very hard for me to talk about. We can see just how dark that soul has gotten in their lifetimes. And just how dark and depraved P. Diddy has become in this lifetime. And we can see that also used his marginal talent as a performer, but his cleverness, savvy in what he's done. He got away with a lot for a long time. But that dark energy never satisfies, that dark reptilian energy. And I'll just quickly explain. As God was creating humanity, 50% of humans were reptilian, and the other 50 are a mixture of galactic beings, of Pleiadians, Arcturians, and tall whites. And the reason I don't put reptilians into the galactic category is because reptilians really found their home here on Earth, and God knew that. God knew that the way that they were made would help create Earth, and were like physically less vulnerable had less sensitivities. And so that was done on purpose. But what happened, you know, it's very, I don't want to make this too long, but we saw what happened with the disciples. So Judas was on the right path. And this goes back to the angelic realm too. That soul was on the right path, but we have free will here on earth, and the less vulnerability and competitiveness brought out a dark energy and split off. And God let this happen because we are on a planet of free will. And this is something we've all agreed to when we come here. And it is up to us to either try to honor Jesus and the teachings. And, you know, I've given messages, other people have given messages of, you know, other people who have had near-death experiences and have talked to Jesus. So we are a planet of free will. So it's a whole concept that I've been trying to break down, and you can watch other videos, but I just wanted to let you all know that some of my subscribers have guessed that I was talking about P. Diddy, but I wasn't able to confirm it. But yes, that's who took out Tupac and Biggie, and this whole team was involved in that happening. So and P. Diddy brought it about himself too. He just abused too many people. He's abused a lot and taken out people. So let's move on from that. Yeah, it took out people who knew the truth about him. Takeoff said that P. Diddy's rapper name should have been Takeout. I thought that was a good one. Instead of P. Diddy. They're like, that's what they call him, Takeout. Okay, so moving on. Takeoff is a very generous soul. I don't want to go too far from talking about him. He mentioned, okay, he is proud of Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is part Arcturian, part reptilian. Oh, and I hope I'm making a distinction between reptilians and dark reptilians. Actually, I've made videos on that. So Justin Bieber is part reptilian, not dark reptilian, and part Arcturian. But he's just recently, like many people, many of us, have just recently gotten into Jesus, connected with Jesus. Justin Bieber just put out many songs about Jesus, so Takeoff is very proud of him, as is Jesus and this whole team. Okay, moving on from that, Takeoff wanted to talk a little bit about African American women, and he's saying like black women worldwide. He's talking about how tough they can be, and how he understands it. There, he's mentioning the cycle of the single mom. Okay, I want to, be very delicate with this. It's okay. He's saying it like this. Try to think of this concept. Think of it in general, and think of it as it pertains to this subject. So he's saying like what we sometimes try to avoid, we can go so far from it that it's full circle, that we can end up energetically in the same place. So he was just, throwing out these words, saying like, the cycle of the single mom, the cycle of being the other woman, of, he's saying right now there's a huge, how do I put this? I don't want to flag my channel. Pro-choice, basically taking out your child, the A word, and so he's saying that, okay, so this full circle thing, when it comes to African Americans and Africans in other places, there was the slavery, and then the emancipation, and then from the emancipation he's saying there's some offshoots from the emancipation which got so carried away that it can actually bring you back to the energy of slavery. So if you're a woman and your energy is to the point where you're so tough, where you're like, I can do it all, I can take care of everything, I can handle anything that's coming at me, I can, I can do cartwheels in the bedroom, and I can be a single mom, and I can be a working mom, and I can handle having an abortion, because I'm tough, and I can handle substances like the boys. I can smoke cigars and do substances, lack of sleep, competitiveness, getting very into the male energy, and who's tougher, trying to be tougher than your boyfriend, and I can do more work, and I can take on more responsibility. How that actually can end up having you be used and be back to being a slave, this full circle. And he didn't quite see that. He was feeling this energetic, he was very deep philosophical when he was here. As a rapper, that was what his mission was. But as a soul, it was also about understanding people. And he's saying that, you know, another concept I've talked about on this channel is galactic beings on some level are on the autism spectrum and the ADHD spectrum, which he was. And, you know, his mind was always going, and he was thinking of these deep ideas when he was here. But this is coming from his very evolved soul. And this isn't a criticism. This is what I'm doing and what I'm getting from my group and from him, why he's here, are to give messages for humanity, to help. He wants you to help understand yourself, how to get out of negative patterns. That's what he's really about. And this is just one of them. And this is out of love. He said, this is out of love for my sisters. And they're all singing love between my brothers and my sisters. Oh yeah, if I had a him. So Archangel Metatron is here. So, like I think I said this earlier, Archangel Metatron is Buddha. And I just found this out. So Archangel Metatron has been many, you know, there's a whole group of souls, but Archangel Metatron is Robin Williams. Robin Williams' spirit was Buddha. So I will be talking to him next. But this is just a message for African American women to think about. And he's saying also African American men, that there's all these cycles too. He just started with that. Okay, so we're moving on with African American men and, you know, some women. He's just saying, stop smoking. There's too much smoking. Although he's saying many are very strong and hardy and athletic. He's saying, please stop with the smoke. It's getting out of control. They're smoking cigars, blunts. She's showing me the little brown cigars. It's gotten to be way too much. Substances, you know, weed, and I hope I can say all this stuff, marijuana, and then there's the lacing, and he's saying like it is a gateway drug, but just also the constant smoke around. He's saying it's really he didn't realize all smoke is toxic. Even if it's campfire, any kind of smoke is toxic to breathe in. And he's saying like it's really bad for children. It's around children a lot. And while he's talking about this song, Messy, saying listen to that song. He's really worried about the children and everyone, but he's saying enough with the smoke. It's bad for your lungs, teeth, your gums, your throat. Okay, moving on from that, he was the youngest member of Migos. Yeah, back to that song, Messy. So as many especially talented galactic beings, I've talked about this before, they've had problems with dark reptilian energy, taking energy from them. Another way you can think of dark reptilian energy is, it's a scale, narcissism, Machiavellianism that I've talked about, sociopathy, psychopathy. So they had their issues with dealing with dark reptilians, and one of and also reptilians, obviously. He was taken out, and I will get to that later as to what happened with his passing. But even just there was an issue with the rapper Saweetie. So she's reptilian, but even with that, she caused a rift in the band. She was with Quavo, and then she was with Offset, and she even flirted with Takeoff once. So this is a message to just be careful. Please, when I'm making these videos and I'm talking to them, try to relate it to yourself. Try to use what's happened with them along with my other videos and other information, other spiritual information. Try to use this to help yourself, to prevent. They want you to prevent what happened to them. Jesus is saying he's trying to protect his children, and even though I'm talking about like the reptilian Saweetie, she's not dark reptilian, and this message is also for reptilians to protect yourself, because that's a sliding scale too. You may be a tough person, but then you still need to protect yourself from like a puff daddy. They showed me some things that Puff Daddy has done, and it just, oh gosh. There's one scene, they actually had me look up stuff too, and as a medium at first, when I would first started channeling, I would just channel like what they would say, but now they have me looking up stuff, and that really helps, because trying to just get all the information from them, it takes a lot of energy. So they'll have me look up stuff, and then I'll just say, is that true? And they'll say yes. I'll say, do you want me to talk about that? So they just showed me this one scene. They had me look up where Puff Daddy was having this party, and there's just a bunch of people lying down together, and it just, I'm trying to put it into words because they were talking to me, but it's like, even the men who you would think are having a good experience, a lot of them were just young, and it's just as we've had the Me Too movement talk about how women are taken advantage of, but it's just as bad for men, and they don't feel good being a part of that. They showed like young men all lying down, and they just did not look happy. It's not good. So as I'm going through here, I wrote down some like a little biography of him. He's received in his short life 2 Grammy noms. So he wants to talk about oh my goodness, guys. So the timing of his death, it was so October 31st, which is they're just showing me energetically. It's hard to put into words, but as many of you know, it is a portal. It is an opening. So Jesus is saying, and Takeoff said this, it can be a portal, an opening to the dark reptilian energy. It is a portal to the other side, but the dark reptilian energy is in the 4th dimension. This team is in the 12th dimension. On that day, you can connect to both, but you have to be very careful. Many people are connecting to the dark reptilian energy that day, and you can get caught in the crosshairs. That day, that Halloween, that Takeoff went out, he had a bad feeling about it. Now, Takeoff is a Gemini, and Quavo is a Gemini, and this is a unfortunate, and my Mercury is in Gemini. We are social beings. I used to go dancing. I love to talk to people, but whatever your thing is can be used against you. And Takeoff and Quavo, they were in Houston. They were enticed into going out. It was mixed feelings. Takeoff wanted to be social. They like people. They like talking to people, but they were suckered into going out. It was planned. It was premeditated. And it was Halloween. He's saying he was, how do I explain that astrologically? Like a Saturn return with his age. And it was all, whatever Jesus and God and this team know about us, the dark reptilian energy, the devil knows about us. So it was a setup energetically. So the dark reptilian energy talks to and feeds off of people, and they really can. Dark reptilians here can be puppets. I mean, we can all be puppets for that energy or for Jesus's energy, but that was at play. And then with the date of it being Halloween and the timing, there is a such thing as the witching hour, middle of the night. I'm sure many of you have had experiences at 3 a.m. So he was taken out at like 2:30, which is, incredibly close. So I mean, just the timing. The veil is open on October 31st, and it was November 1st, which is Day of the Dead. So it was just a complete opening of a portal, and how they contributed was just being out too late, staying too long at the party, not following their instincts, playing dice, and which, yeah, Takeoff didn't even play. He's not into it, but I will be getting to exactly what happened very soon. He wanted to do the messages first. So yeah, he was raised by his mom. Both of his parents were reptilian, and he came in to work with his DNA to change the family dynamic. So he didn't fully complete his mission, but he was on the right track. So yeah, just talking a little bit about Salviti. She's not even a dark reptilian, and she really caused like a breakup of the band. Basically, like her and Quavo weren't getting along, and she was out of revenge, was trying to be with, Offset. She was with Offset and hit on Takeoff, and not realizing just the devastation that would cause, and the said that they created that song Messy. It's like, this is a message to women too. Like, sometimes it gets so emotional about rejection, and you can go down into revenge, which is not good. Obviously, we've talked about men too. P. Diddy is huge on revenge, but this is like how, people who aren't as crazy sick as P. Diddy, as dark, but still can get caught up in the revenge, and especially young people. We don't realize, Takeoff saying, we don't realize the things we do when we're young, how hurtful we can be, and how we can really mess with other people's destinies. Like, when we pass, we'll go through a life review and see that. And he really wanted to remind you all of that. Be careful with manipulating other people's destinies. It is something, if it's done negatively, we will deeply regret when we pass. Oh, he wants to clear his name because he had a bad experience with someone that accused him of SA, and he said it's not true. Okay. I'm going to, I just wrote here about his passing, but before I get to it, I want to just look up the messages that I spoke to myself. I spoke to my phone, and then I sent them to my computer. So just give me 1 minute here. Okay. Yeah, I was talking into my phone. Oh yeah, actually I talked into my phone before I did automatic writing. So I wrote this song. He said, "Hi mom." He's calling me mom. This is my first lifetime as a woman. So this is like, he's really making a joke too. I love being a woman. I've been told my next lifetime I'll be a woman too. So, but that made him laugh because, I'm one of his spiritual parents. So, I'm mom. Oh, some of you might be asking, like, if Archangel Uriel is the spiritual parent of Takeoff, how could he have been born into reptilians? Well, it is like sacred geometry. So there are circumstances where your ancestors can be galactic beings, but through marriage, the family lineage became too reptilian or unbalanced, or dark reptilian. His was becoming reptilian, not dark reptilian, and he was born into that family to balance it out, and it has to do with his DNA and who he was in that family prior. I know it sounds very complicated, but there's our earthly DNA and then there's our spiritual DNA. So in his next lifetime, he could choose to be to go back to his spiritual DNA and choose to have, like, say Biggie or me be his actual parent in real life, if that makes sense. I know these are big concepts, and I'm trying to break them down as best I can in all of my videos. So yeah, some of the things that you told me I have already written down. Let me see here. Some of the things I don't understand, like I'll just be falling asleep and talking to my phone. He said, this is a message for men raised by single mothers. Try not to have unrealistic expectations from your partner, because your mom, you did so much for you. And also try, he's saying there's a danger of men getting too into their feminine when they have single moms, because I guess just being raised with the feminine energy and having that one woman do so much for them, they have that expectations, which could make them the feminine energy in a relationship, which is not good for a masculine. If you were born to be the masculine energy, it's not good for you. and it's not good for your partner. Okay, and so he said, many of you have probably experienced premonitions. He said premonitions can be remembrances of possible timelines that you're shown. So when we're here, our destiny is not written in stone. We are shown possible timelines depending on people in our lives, their choices, and our choices. You know, he had a possible timeline where he was not going to be taken out if he didn't make that decision, you know, to go to that party, or a future decision. And so he's saying also, listen to your intuition. It could save your life. So yeah, had he not been taken out, he would have, you know, his highest timeline, his mission was to continue to be a rapper, to have a family, most preferably with someone from his soul group, a child of Archangel Uriel, and to go on and manage. This is very important. If you've watched my channel for a while, you we have talked about the dark side of the music industry, and what Jesus and this team would like to do, and Takeoff was here to do, is to put the music management into galactic hands. So also with good intentions. So Takeoff, knowing what he needed as a artist, would have been a really good music manager. But of course, you know, he was taken out. He was taken out by the dark reptilian energy through dark reptilians here, and they took him out, so he wasn't able to do that. And that's a very common thing that happens with very talented galactic beings. You know, with his ADHD, he wanted to party and not, you know, there's a lack of fear sometimes, especially in young men with ADHD. And with his autism, and Quavo shares the same traits. Their intuition, they could feel something wasn't right, but they weren't reading the social cues fast enough. You know, he talked about learning the need to communicate with others, but not over communicating. We're seeing a lot of some people over communicating to the point of exhaustion, while others under communicate and conserve their energy. Be aware of that. Oh, so he's bringing up this point. He's singing now. Say something once, why say it again? He said, make sure if you're a very caring, empathetic, starseed, empath, that he's saying, say something once. You know, don't keep repeating yourself to someone, wasting your energy. You know, he said, be careful with the do-gooding and being overly responsible for others and wasting your energy. people will just see you as a nag anyway and a nuisance. You know, he said you can get clarification. Ask someone, did you hear what I said? And he was learning that. He was a mature, he said he was a mature, immature kid. So he was learning all of that. He had a nice way of being. He's not saying that about himself. It was said by others. So as a rapper, he's saying he's basically a modern day preacher too. He's saying that now with these messages also. Okay, and he's saying if you relate to him at all, if you find yourself as a galactic being on the spectrum of autism or ADHD, he's saying just be very mindful, even though it is a trait to interrupt and try not to. He's saying really try to listen to others. Even if you don't agree with them, you don't have to accept what they're saying. He's saying an argument is one person says an opinion, another person says an opinion, and then the other person double downs. And yeah, he's saying there's no need to ever double down. You know, there could be life or death, but you get it. Like, it's not a good habit. And they're all singing after midnight, after midnight. He's saying that there was an expression after midnight, nothing good happens. And for many of you out there who just love to party, are social, like this group here, us, I'm like that. Be very careful with staying too late out, staying too late at parties. He's saying with everybody, but especially reptilians and especially dark reptilians, if they're not planning on taking you out, that's when dark intentions come out. And I'm sure many of you out there have experienced these moments where you know, you feel like everyone's having a good time. You know, a lot of galactics let loose, get silly, get crazy, but a lot of dark reptilians especially, they have an ulterior motive when they're going out. They may know who it is. It's not black and white, because some, you know, galactic beings might say, hey, I'm going to stay out late because I like this person too. But just be careful of that switch, that dark moment. If you're not into that dark moment where you suddenly realize somebody wants something from you, that's your cue to go home. He said that's when people's demons come out. You get all the sloppiness. That song Messy, he's like all the sloppiness, the bad breath, people slobbering on you. It's no longer fun. That's when the moment has switched. And it's when you see the greed and the demons and the users at the party. It all gets really dark and serious. He said that made him sad. He had experienced that before his passing. People can't enjoy the moment. They're not enjoying life. They're not having fun. They're just scrounging for money. looking for people to feed off of, people to give them energy. The unhappiness takes over, going to hell in a handbasket. He didn't fully catch on to that pattern. When he passed, he kicked himself for being slow. He just wanted to go out and have a good time, wanted to be able to relax, hang out, get his jewelry, make friends. He did suffer from FOMO, he's saying. So that, be careful of that. That could make you hang out with the wrong people. He brought me to this time in my life. One time, so I was in my 20s, I wasn't listening to any sort of, not much like hip hop or rap, maybe a little bit here and there, the popular stuff. But one time I just got this like download of a rap song called like Beauty Queen, and it was because of my spiritual group. It was for Biggie. He reminded me of that. That was funny. So yeah, he said as a Gemini, he would do 2-3 things at the same time. And him and Quavo and myself and Biggie and Tupac rated personality and humor, talent so high. He didn't realize that other people didn't do that. He's like, how could you take me out? Like, I was a fun guy. I was funny and talented and kind, and why would you do that to me? He didn't understand that. When he passed, he was like, how could this happen to me? He didn't see the jealousy and the greed. Yeah, and he dealt with the people who were like, let me pick your brain, let's collab, the users. He didn't realize. He's like, yeah, people would be like, let's collab, and they didn't bring anything to the table. And how deadly that could end up being. He gave dark reptilians too much power. Be careful of that. He's saying the goal of the dark reptilians around him, it was enslavement. So we're back to that word. He's saying just beware of any way that others are trying to enslave you. That's a big message. Be careful of being fetishized. This is, for both sexes. He's saying now it's wonderful that people are integrating and we have this idea of equality, but make sure that you're not being fetishized by someone of a different culture or color. And you're not making yourself or letting others make you into an object. So that even could be like, if you're saying like, oh, I'm a queen, like, don't become like a stereotype where other people can objectify you. Yeah, and he's saying there's a mental trap going on right now with some African Americans, and he's saying, it's understandable, like how everything happened. They can see the big picture, but it's so mental. He's saying that like he showed me from like a couple buildings down from me, spanning down at least, I don't know how, not really good with mileage, but very far down on the water are, and he had me look at this, are housing projects. And this is on the East River. And, he's saying technically, structurally, they weren't built that different than, nicer apartments, but it's the mental trap. He would have liked to have helped with this when he was here. And I wrote down some of the music he has had me listen to. Whitney Houston, Donna Summer, Alicia Keys, and Aretha Franklin. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you. And all of his music, Migos and Quavo, and Quavo with Lana Del Rey, and it's just been great because he's, I sometimes I forget to mention that while I'm hanging out with people, they're showing me who they are, and I get to enjoy all of their things that they enjoyed. And he's also giving a message to African American people: be careful about becoming a political pawn too. Do your research with politics. That's been a big issue, and that many of you are aware of in the spiritual community. Okay, so we are going to now go to his passing when he was taken out. So this was planned. This was planned by let's see here, Patrick Xavier Clark. They had me look up this information. He was one of the people involved. It was him that can I say this? I'm just gonna say it, see what happens. So he was pew pew. That was the one that it was 2 bullets that took him out, but that's from him. And Cameron Joshua, Little Cam, so he's guilty too. It was these 3 that planned this, and Josh Prince, the 3 of them planned this. So it started with, they showed me the car ride that was, they were trying to create, these 3 they were all armed and dangerous, and they were all in on this plan, so they're all equally guilty. So they planned it all from the beginning. The car ride with the weapon sitting there, shown on social media. They're very clever, very, very clever. they created this whole scenario, and he's saying, you know, be careful with clever, dark reptilian people. All three of them are dark reptilian: Patrick, Xavier Clark, little Cam, and Ja Prince. They are all dark reptilian. He's saying, as with Ja Prince's father, they have a music, what is it called? They're in the music industry. They have a company. They are dangerous, and the father has taken out people, and it's been passed down. So they're very power hungry. They plan this, and he's saying, be careful in your life that people, narcissists, you can call them narcissists, they scheme and they plan and they say things, and that's why his whole situation has become such a mess, because they entrapped them and they created a narrative for the public. They showed them driving around with the weapon, and they fell right into the trap, and then they went and they bought their jewelry, and that was shown. And so the public is getting this image of just, you know, rappers with jewelry and weapons all like hanging out, and then they kept extending the night, and, you know, let's go here and let's go here, and then let's play dice. And so the dice was where they really tracked them, you know, and this is very common. Hold on just a sec. This is very common, a very common tactic. It's technically gambling, which is a high emotion activity. They were negging them as the night went on, you know, trying to start little fights, starting fights with Quavo, and then they cheated in the dice game. They were trying to, it was so disrespectful, trying to get their money, and trying to start a fight. Like, it was all a win for them, because they were pissed. They were mad because Quavo and Takeoff were not interested in signing a contract with their company, or collabing with them, or working with them. Like, they were like, yeah, well, we can work with you a little bit, but Takeoff and Quavo were doing their own thing, and they didn't want to, you know, like, change. Even though they did independent things too, they just didn't want to be under. I mean, they didn't say no fully, but they didn't say yes. They were just like, well, we'll think about it. But this group of men are so power hungry and crazed that they felt slighted. They were thinking of Quavo and Takeoff, even though Quavo and Takeoff were incredibly generous with this group, and generous with their time and energy and even money, and would want to, like, do charity with them, and, you know, do a little bit of collabs, but that wasn't enough for them. They wanted control. So it's it's like another generation repeating this same BS. Like what happened to Biggie and Tupac, you know, is happening to their child. And on the other side, you know, they told Takeoff, like, you know, this could happen to you, but once we're born, you know, we have the veil, unless you get like a really good psychic reading or you really get very spiritual and you're able to connect. And he did get messages, like he did get intuition, you know. He was only 28, but he did get intuition of like, don't be out too late, don't collab with these people, don't sign. So he was on top of it. He just couldn't be so on top of it. You know, the dark reptilian energy was just working overtime through these dark reptilian people to get to him. So, you know, in hindsight, he wishes that, of course, that he never went out, that he never went to that party. You know, he's saying this group is responsible for Duke, the taking out of Duke the jeweler too, who is Arcturian and a descendant of Archangel Metatron. And you have to understand too, he's saying that these groups have money, that they may not have been physically responsible, but hired someone. And it's just this huge problem now in the rap world. And, you know, Quavo is in danger. He's still on a hit list. Many rappers are in danger, especially, you know, the really talented ones. Many of them are starting to realize it. Duke the jeweler is here. Very, very bright soul. Let me see what time. Ooh, going for a while here. I'm sorry, guys. This is just, it's such a shame. Let me go back. He wants me to go back into my notes. He said there's a couple more things. Oh, I wrote here, their song Hotel Lobby was certified platinum 4 weeks after he passed away. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. This is a message to, it kind of touched upon this, a message to the men. He's saying sex can be equally degrading for men. Be careful out there. He touched a little bit upon many of you. I haven't actually made any videos about this, But many of you have asked me, what is hell? Is there a hell? And it's a very complicated question, but he wanted me to let you all know just a little bit that when we pass, we have a life review, and we go over the feelings of like interactions we've had with people and how we've hurt them. Now, if some people have had this crazy life where they've hurt people over and over and over, their life review is going to be that, which is what we would consider to be hell. And they, if someone's life was so dark, you have to understand this group is in the 12th dimension, and the dark reptilian energy hovers in the 4th dimension, that they may experience their life review in the 4th dimension because it's so dark that the energy can't reach up. And so the person has to experience that in that dimension, which just makes it darker until they experience it and are able to move up to meet like their higher selves and higher beings, if that makes sense. I'll make videos about this in the future. So yeah, they purposely cheated at the dice game. So think about this. You know, people have been like, oh, Quavo likes to talk, shoot his mouth. Not really, like a little more so than Takeoff, but you know, everybody has their limits. They're saying like the night just dragged on, everybody was tired and hungry, and then they're like, one more game, and they cheated, and he said they caused a ruckus. He said, be aware when someone plays right in your face. They're obviously dissing you. He's saying, please, the next time someone obviously insults you, obviously disses you, obviously is toying with you, playing in your face, he said, it's a tactic. They want you to get upset so that they can blame you for the drama that unfolds, for them abusing you. So as you can see from, again, the picture that was painted in the media, it even confused the police. It was meant to confuse, and that's a big sign of dark reptilian energy. You know, the three guys and the dark reptilian energy, they want to make everybody act like them. Like we see with P. Diddy how there was so much blackmail involved. Like he'd bring people to his parties, have them sign and I think it's called an NDE, have them do these crazy things, tell them that, oh, you were filmed, and blackmail them. And the energy behind it is, you know, back to this night and with P. Diddy, you know, bringing these ideas together. They try to make you them. They try to make it look like you're just like them. And so they're constantly, that's why when Jesus was here, his messages that unfortunately got turned into commandments, and then people are turned off by it. It was for protection, because when the dark reptilian energy gets you to do things, even if it's stay late at a party or have sex with this person or roll dice, you know, they're trying to make it look like everybody's the same. And so, you know, this group of guys tried to make it look like that they were just playing dice, and Quavo was, his temper got the best of him, and that everybody had a weapon, and that things just got out of hand and people were just, you know, and it confused everyone until now they are breaking it down. And you know, the police need to keep interviewing people and getting to the bottom of this, and they are, but you know, this whole group, he's a, you know, they're not giving me like the upset that we have, but you know, they want justice. It's completely unfair, and they also want you all to really be aware of people who are trying to get you to be like them and be like, oh, you did it too, or you did this one thing and now that's who you are. It could be a toxic family member that, you know, gets you to start smoking, or they're constantly talking about like you did that bad thing when you were a kid, or the friend that's like, remember all the bad stuff we did, well, you're just like me, or you know, now you think you're better than me. And you know, that was the energy at that party. Those guys were, they were planning on fighting with them and taking them out if they could, to get street cred. And they were already like talking. Even though they were very strategic about this plan, they've said things here and there as to, you know, they you know, Quavo and Takeoff didn't realize that they were already, these guys, they said, Takeoff is saying these guys were in their negative Jezebel feminine energy, and gossiping already about them. Oh, it's just so unnecessary. These guys had access to money and power, and it's just that they didn't have control over them, and they tried to flip it in their minds of like, oh, they think they're too good for us, well, we'll show them. Another thing is like, that's very hard for them, or very hard for Takeoff, is being compared to guys like this, who I just, quite frankly, aren't as talented. And then also the real gangsters and the drill rappers. You know, he's saying there are some amongst them who have talent, but it's getting to the point, you know, they're getting taken out, or there's a fear of being taken out, which is stifling the creativity. But you know, this is what the dark reptilian energy wants, like the untalented people to shine, and the drill rap and the darkness to grow. You know, the really dark drill rap, and not criticizing all drill rap, but he's saying like, Let's see if there's any more notes. He's saying, like, you know, they're trying to confuse everyone and make everyone the same. Like, they're all the same. They all smoke this and drink this and act like this with women, and you know, all have the same intentions, and it's all about power and control and money and fighting and weapons. And it isn't. Like, Quavo and Takeoff and Tupac and Biggie were not about that life. That's what they're saying. You know, not that they were perfect, not that they didn't have their moments. You know, they're Geminis, and they're, you know, they can have sharp tongues and they could say things, but it's an intention. And Jesus is coming in and saying, it's in your intention. Like, we're all here on earth. Earth is not heaven. We're not perfect. We get caught up in arguments and sharp tongues. And, you know, even me on the internet, like, sometimes you know, I was a comedian in the past, and sometimes I just can't help but go for a joke, and people think that, you know, I'm a mean person. And so it's really, really a challenge. But you know, those are the messages from everyone here. I'm gonna wrap this up. Hopefully whoever's listening, try to stay safe. Try to understand if you're being put in a situation like this, if you're in danger. Use your intuition. Be very careful during portals. Be very careful on Halloween. Be very careful. Watch my predictions from 2020. Some things from 2020 until now. So I've done 4 years of predictions. Go back to 2020 and watch them, because so many things. I've had subscribers, and I see it too. I just don't make videos saying, like, oh, see, this happened and that happened. But Jesus is saying 98% of what Jesus told me was going to happen has happened. And so please watch those videos, because some of the things are happening now, or still happening in 2024 into, you know, 2025. I'll make another prediction video. You know, be very careful of the weather, being in cities, election day, being in crowds, amusement parks, even beaches now, churches, synagogues, yeah, did I say parades, sporting events. Just be careful of everything that was said in this, and Takeoff is giving me prayer hands. Everyone is giving me prayer hands. Jesus is saying that he loves you. I want to say thank you for hearing me out, watching my videos. Oh, and I'm wearing this navy Archangel Michael wants me. That's his joke. So I'm wearing this navy attire because of past lives that I've had. I have a spiritual connection to the Navy, as does Archangel Michael. I have to put this in here. Archangel Michael is saying, if you're in America, vote for Trump. Trump is Archangel Michael, and he's not perfect by any means. You don't have to agree with him on everything, but he's the next step in the right direction. Okay, they're all saying good night, goodbye, we love you, be careful this Halloween, please. All right, bye. night, guys, and happy Halloween. Jesus is saying, talk to them. Okay, that's it. Good night, guys. I'll talk to you soon.